Lima Sierra Zulu Bravo. That is aviation lingo and means airport of Bern-Belp, Switzerland. The time 1967. In the summer of 1967, my wife and I spent a week at the Bern-Belp Airport. By then I had proudly logged 120 hours in light aircraft, and our purpose was to see the Alps from the air. Belp seemed to be a convenient base for this. We stayed at the Hotel Sternen just off the airport, watched the air traffic from the cafeteria, took an occasional bath at Giesenbad, and got to know Hans-Uli Wüthrich from the Alpar company. Hans-Uli gave me the Alpeneinweisung, that is, he taught me how to behave in the Alpine airspace. After a successful check flight with the Flugpolizei, I got one more fine stamp in my logbook. I had my 16mm film camera with me and made this short film about the everyday life at Belp. It is a pity that my camera could not record the sounds there, but to add some nostalgic feeling to the film, I have inserted rattle of an old movie projector in the background. Belp was already then a very busy airport. You could spot many kinds of light aircraft, from Piper Cubs to Beechcraft Musketeers and business twins, while Bel Air Fokker Friendships added a touch of heavier commercial aviation to the picture. Piper Cubs were busy all day towing gliders and practicing side slips and precision landings. Filming aircraft at Belp gave in a way more vivid results than filming in Finland. This was because of the mighty Swiss mountains. In Finland, the backdrop would have been only a blue or grey sky with some occasional clouds. There was a snag, though. Runway 32 was mostly in use, which meant that the approaching aircraft had to be filmed towards the sun. Afterwards, I have wondered why I was not clever enough to climb to the slopes of the neighboring hill. From there, I would have got nice telephoto shots towards the airport with the sun behind my back. When the Friendships arrived or departed, the road passing the runway end was closed by a boom. Does anybody anymore remember those happy days of the 60s when one could move so freely on an airport and around the aircraft, and when rigid security checks and fences were not even dreamed of? The ever-present haze tended to kill the colors and taxed the sharpness of the pictures. Sideslip seemed to be one of the most loved maneuvers of the Cub pilots. The landings were usually so good that they were monotonous to film. But look, this one was a bit different. For a plane spotter, Belp was a nice place. In addition to different types of aircraft, one could also spot aircraft in all colors of the rainbow. The cab pilots were trainees on a course, and the course headquarters were at the side of a transporter bus close to the runway. The pilot gets a signal to start his approach for a precision landing. One day Belp had a visit by two high-flying military jets, a Mirage and a Venom, I think. Please correct me if I am wrong. A cab taxis with a helper at its wingtip and is cleared into position after the landing aircraft. I did not film over the Alps, though I shot a lot of photographs of them. But one day Hansuli and I took off for a photographic sortie over the old part of Bern. At first we curved over the airport and then continued downtown. Many a learned writer has used pictures of the old city center of Bern as an example of how the nature itself could mold cities in the ancient times. Seen from above, Bern visualizes clearly how the river and its bends gave form to the city. Just notice how even the streets follow the contours of the river. As I wanted to avoid camera stutter, I used very high speed while shooting these scenes. That is why we seem to move so slowly. Well, which one is turning here? We above the city or the city below us? A crow's view of a city is always quite fascinating, and the older the city, the more fascinating the view. It tells more than 1,000 tourist postcard photographs. The wing struts of the cab make a nice foreground and help to create a feeling of death. Time to return to Belp. We fly over Hotel Sternen, then continue to the final and landing on the grass runway that was used by aircraft without radio. Oh yes, one could cope without a radio in those golden times. This short story ends with 2 shots of Hansuli and my wife in front of the Musketeer Hotel Bravo Echo Whiskey Delta, which had been our mount on our flights between the Alps. Happy days like those, will they ever return?
Romeo, Juliet, flight traffic alert. 8 o'clock, less than 1 mile, flight level 2.